All right, we are now live. We are so excited to be here with Rob and Corey of the Amazing Race. Really exciting. So we've all been watching you, and now you guys are done. Whew. I know you guys got third, but in our community, you guys are the champs, okay? Seriously, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Of course, I've got so many questions, just thinking about where to begin. So, your first thoughts, just doing the race itself. It was amazing. Literally amazing. What an opportunity to be involved in the Amazing Race. It was a great opportunity for the two of us to showcase who we are and do that proudly, showcase American Sign Language, me being deaf, Corey being CODA, of course, it was just priceless. So watching the shows, I mean, you guys were leading, you guys were first. So of course the feeling was, they're gonna be champions, they're gonna win, and you guys went from first to third. Could you tell us what happened? Sure, ready? Corey? Yeah, you want me to go? You want to go? I'll take it, sure. So, we did the Seattle Scramble. We had those 3 legs that we had to take. The glass blowing, setting up for the concert, and the trapeze. Oh my, you poor thing, Rob. It was quite the ordeal. So, we left feeling like we were actually leading. What threw us off is we ended up getting lost. Yeah. And that was painful. It was. It was so hard because we feel like we've been so good at all those tasks, and during the race, we're really good at navigating. You could see that in Ireland, navigating, and then I felt like strategically we were doing great, and then it was just kind of the wrong time to get lost. And I think what complicated that night in Seattle, there weren't a lot of people around, so we were really on a hunt. When we got to the hotel, we found somebody. We were like, awesome, can you help us out? We're looking for these directions here. And they were like, well, you got to leave in 3 minutes for this Uber. So we're really rushing, and then we're like, okay, great. They took their phone and shook off, and we weren't done. We had incomplete directions, and we thought it would be sufficient to get us where we needed to go. But honestly, we should have gone into the hotel and asked them to print out directions so we could rely on those instead of trying to write them down. And there were people in other countries as we were driving around. There were people ready. We thought it would be the same setup in Seattle, and that wasn't the case. And we forgot it was also in the evening. People are in bed. They're not out. It was late. I mean, at that point, what was it, 11 o'clock? I mean, it felt like midnight. It was probably midnight at that point, so there weren't a lot of people out. So these little factors kind of built up, and things we didn't think of. What was that moment like? It was hard because honestly, you go into the race, and the first goal is not to, come in first, and then as time goes on, we kept hitting second, third place, and the momentum was there. So then we're like, let's reach the end. Right, we saw it. We just want to see everything they have to offer in this race. That was our goal. And then we're realizing, wait a minute, we can do this. And there's $1 million on the line. We wanted it so badly. And then we struggled that first challenge, right? But reaching that point where we got to the concert setup, the stage setup, and we saw the other teams, we're like, oh my gosh, okay, so we're in comparable time. Knowing that the glass blowing was next, and getting it on the second try, we were ecstatic. We were so stoked. I don't know about you, Dad, but in that moment I thought, we might win. And then that excitement really got to me. Oh, you guys must have been elated. Yeah, the adrenaline rush. I mean, it really hit. And we should have taken our time and just kind of played it cool still, but yeah. However, you did experience everything the show has to offer, right? You got to experience everything. You made it to the end. And for that, congratulations. Thank you. And you guys earned so many fans. You guys are so beloved. And why do you think that is? We have an amazing relationship. Well, obviously, that was evident. And we had wonderful teamwork between the two of us. Obviously I've raised him. I've known him 25 years now. 26, Dad. 27. Look, 26. Already 26 years. So, wow, time really does fly. But yeah. Yeah, I'm just so proud. I'm proud of how we worked together. And you were just so able to read me. I was able to read you. It went both ways. You guys were just in sync the whole time. And honestly, ASL, that's the core to our relationship, truly. We are both able to communicate in sign language. And I think two things really most importantly is the authenticity. We never tried to be performative, right? We never tried to play somebody that we're not. We were who we are, and we just showed that. At the beginning of the race, you don't see there, but we had so many conversations where he's like, we're on this show as equals. It's not, I'm Dad, I make the decision. No, we're equals. We're here as a team. And if we want to be successful, we got to work together here. And I think so often you're not used to seeing that type of relationship from parent to child, father to son. So I think that was big. He just trusted me. So that inherent trust in, we just have a great relationship. Oh, that's beautiful. And so many challenges you did together. Your favorite challenge and the most difficult challenge. Favorite was pretty easy. The skydiving. Oh, that was awesome. Oh, I can just imagine. I mean, who does that with their dad? Who gets to do that with their dad? Right, and me, who gets to do that with their son? At the Baltic Sea, but oh my gosh, such an amazing place to do it. It was stunning. And the best part about it was I felt like we were in a James Bond movie. We get to the ground, and then we got to take off our equipment. We're running to the next leg. I mean, what? Who gets to experience this? It was a wild ride. And what a fantasy. You lived out that adventure. It was awesome. Now, worst, I think I know, Corey, you want to go? Dancing with balancing those objects on my head. It was so tough. I don't know why I couldn't figure it out. When the other team started, completing that leg, I was feeling so defeated. It was so hard, but I was so happy to have my dad on the sidelines, just remaining as optimistic as possible, rooting me on. I think we felt most confident after that because we're like, if we made those mistakes, right, and we still were able to catch up, wow. It was hard, but it really did boost our confidence. Agreed. And then Slovenia, and we were on the bikes. We weren't reading the clues carefully, so we lost about our muscles, and that really defeated our confidence in that moment. That was just a huge mess up on our end. Just doing all of those challenges. I'm sure you have a lifetime of stories doing just all of that. Wow. I have to ask you, Corey. Everyone's dying to know what's going on with you and the river dance girl. I mean, nothing. Yeah, nothing to report there. We reached out after the show, but yeah, nothing came to fruition. Well, it was fun seeing you do the dance. Honestly, that was impressive. You were quick on those feet. I was impressed too. Oh, I was so proud in that moment to see him crush that dance. Yeah, and I have to say thanks to my younger brother for that one. He's a phenomenal dancer. So before we even got on the show, we had asked him to teach us some choreography. So he reviewed that, and that was really helpful. I think very, very helpful. And fortunately, I didn't have to balance anything on my head while doing the river dance. What a relief. Just wondering about your experience with the other contestants. Were they eager to learn how to sign so that they could communicate with you? Did they ask anything about deaf culture? There were two, John and Liam. They knew how to sign, I would say pretty good. Liam knew more about deaf culture. He took ASL classes in the past and learned about deaf culture in that class that he took. So that guy, he just an amazing person. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know him. John, on the other hand, just kind of self-taught a little bit online. Can you imagine self-taught? it really impressed with his skills. I mean, he's not proficient by any means, but he can get by. We were able to have a conversation. We were able to carry on a conversation, right, Corey? Yeah, I think what was really impressive is the crew that works on the show. They had some awesome questions. And so that part, you don't get to see the behind the scenes, but every time we were like in a 4-hour car drive, right? We would just have these conversations. You start to get to know the crew, the camera guys, and those that are doing the audio, and they ask really solid questions, and they love their job. So they were just so inquisitive about the two of us, and just teaching them about, you know, different aspects to deaf culture, and teaching them about deaf poetry. They were in awe. They really were in awe about that. And they loved how the two of us communicated while we drove, you know, using the rearview mirror. They were really taking it all in. Yeah, they were captivated by it. So I know you were teaching, I noticed the host, Bill, signed your number, what is it, team number 1, is that what he said? Did you teach them that? They already knew from Luke and Archie, so I wish we saw, what was it, team number 6? No, I'm sorry, team number 3 or 6. Remember, he kind of screwed that up a little bit. I wish I had the opportunity to critique him, but yeah, well, it is what it is. It's hard in that moment. You're just so excited. You're like, I'm not eliminated. Yes, all right, we're moving on. Great. Yeah, we'll take it. Whatever, 3, 6, whatever. We'll take it. And so interpretation, right? Some deaf people had made comments that they noticed at the time. Cora, you chose to speak for yourself, and then sometimes you sign for yourself. Did you guys kind of have an agreement between the two of you in terms of communication preferences? Before the race, we had agreed that either I would sign or speak. I did not want to sign and talk at the same time and, you know, kind of muddy or water down one of the language. I wanted to show how I communicated with them, but then I also wanted to communicate with the camera, and that wasn't going to be the same. Right, so I wanted to show bona fide ASL and, you know, real spoken English. So in that moment, when we're signing to each other, the producer would say, "Hey, do you mind signing for yourself or speak for yourself while you're signing?" I said, "No. After I'm done with this conversation, I'll catch you up to speed." But that, yeah, I think it's fair to have full ASL and full English. I wasn't going to do half and half. It just didn't feel like it would give good TV. Yeah. Agreed. Sticking with one language where you felt you could most express yourself. And then when you're talking to your dad, obviously you're going to use sign language. And then if you're communicating with the camera, you're going to follow it as spoken English. And we did have interpreters the entire time. Not during the race. Or at least not the same interpreter during the race. We had a different interpreter in each country we're in. Maybe twice we had, you know, 2 of the same interpreters. Yeah. But that's about it. So they provided access the entire time. Well, especially with safety training, like the skydiving, walking across the bridge, and that type of stuff where they're doing some safety review, they needed to have an interpreter. And then after the race interviews, we had an interpreter. But during the race, not necessarily. It was just Corey and I. And that was key to show, right, that we don't have an interpreter during the race. So as we're on each leg, it's just he and I. Just the two of you, right? And it showed our authentic experience, right? This is how we navigate the world together. This is what it's like. So we're not always, we have those interpreters for the interviews and for safety needs, which were, you know, important. Agreed. So you had a great experience with all of them. Then you guys did win something huge. You have that Fiji trip that you won. Yes. That we're really excited. Any plans yet? Well, we haven't, nothing affirmative. So are you guys going to take it with the family? Oh, it's definitely going to be a family trip. No doubt about it. I've got to take my wife and I got to take my younger son. Yeah, it's a family effort, really, even for us to be on the show. That was a family effort. It was. So maybe Christmas in Fiji next year? Maybe. Ooh, nice. Something to think about, yeah. Why not? We might have to bring a Christmas tree, a small, like a miniature Christmas tree. Tree on the beach. Exactly. No. We'll use a palm tree. We'll decorate that. Yeah, we could do that. That'd be fun. No, but I do agree. I think it's important to take the whole family go as a family because honestly, they were such a vital aspect to the race. And I can't say enough awesome, positive things about their support, the training that happened prior, right? They kept doing things to help us throughout that training. They would set up scavenger hunts at the mall where we'd have to go in just so that we had real life experiences prior to getting on the show. You actually trained. Oh, no way. How cool. Yeah, we did. And then my mom was really big with making sure that we had conversations about, you know, how are we going to deal with stressful environments? Talk about that. Navigate that now before you get on the show. You know, you have a hard time talking and describing things when you're tired. You're going to be tired at points. And we're like, yeah, all right, good point, good point. Wow. And the two of you couldn't reach out to the family for the entire month, is that right? For the entire month. That must have been so hard. I can only imagine what they were thinking, what was going on with you guys. Oh, for sure. And I know Corey's mom and his brother are so proud of us that we made it the entire race. So I know that pride is there. Proud and thrilled. You guys really did do an awesome job with representation. And people asked if you guys were going to make those t-shirts for the population at large, the signature champion t-shirt. You guys are the champions in the deaf community, I have to say. Thank you for saying that. You know what I loved is TAR superfans. If you know the team that uses ASL, right, we made it to the final three. Made it to the final three. That is right. Right, exactly right. And what's next for the two of you? Your Instagram is growing in terms of fans, so more collaborating in the future between the two of you? I don't know. We've talked about it a little bit, but we've honestly kept our eyes on this moment last week, and so now we really haven't given it too much thought of what's going to happen next. But I know people are loving what we've done on YouTube, so we might do a few more of those. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, maybe All-Stars, fingers crossed. Oh, right, they do have Amazing Race All-Stars. Who knows? Fingers crossed. Yes, they've got to have you guys, right? Everyone there in the Instagram world, yes. Yes, get the word out there that you want to see Rob and Corey again. Please do us a favor. Or Corey on the challenge. I'm in. I'm in. Well, thank you guys so much for this conversation. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I can feel your energy being here. You know, seeing it on TV and then having you guys in person, it's just electrifying. It really is amazing, and this is why the world has fallen in love with you. Oh, thank you so much.